Hi guys, my name is Christina. I'm happy to see you. I actually studied yoga in Nashik, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. And out of all my degrees in counseling psychology and whatnot, my best degree was in as a yoga teacher, because I didn't think I would use it to help people, but I ended up helping myself. And I think everybody I ever taught, I always integrated yoga or a bit of meditation into my classroom. And as noted, I really extended my understanding while working with Raju Ramanathan. So hello to some friendly faces. I love you, I miss you, and so on. I met a lot of you in Montreal. So I want to just take the attention off of me and ask you guys. We all know what's going on now is absolutely crazy, what's going on with COVID. We all know that it's unbelievable what's happening, but we all know also that there's a huge impact on the youth, right? So my homework for you today is to write down right now 3 kids that you would think are being affected by the COVID-19. 3 kids that you're really concerned with, that you think maybe that them and their peers might benefit from having yoga or meditation in the classroom. So please, if you have your notepad out, please write that down. 3 names of kids, so your heart is a bit more focused on them. Let's try. We know how much yoga has probably helped our life, but if we want to even extend that goodness and this gift, this knowledge, who are 3 kids in your life that you really hope could be healed through the science of yoga and meditation? So just please write down their names right now, so we have their thoughts and our prayers and our vibrations going with them. Could be your grandchildren, could be your daughter, your niece, your cousin. I'm going to think of my niece. I don't have children myself, that's why I've always been teaching. I'm going to think of my niece and what she's going through. These kids have been wearing masks all day. We took them away from their social engagements. They had to, we understand. I don't have to repeat it. I think we all know the physical effects it has on their body, the tense muscles, shallow breathing, disturbed sleep, disturbed eating habits. As we know, studies show that these children can have post-traumatic stress disorder due to the effects of COVID right now. So I hope you're finished with 3 loved ones that you know of, and write their names. And then number 2 is, who is a yoga teacher that you know that could maybe help them or their school? Look how many people are we? We're 148 people online. And I think together we can make ripple effects of goodness and to share this. So what yoga teacher do you know that might be able to volunteer, just like my teachers in Nashik? They were volunteer teachers doing karma yoga, just like my famous teacher, Raju Ramanathan. He hasn't charged a penny for his services that he's given me. And neither do I. I try not to when I'm teaching yoga as well. So maybe if even you want to, if you know your cousin who's a yoga teacher, maybe you could suggest them go to the schools. And now, how do we approach the schools? This is sometimes hard, sometimes scary. So I'm just going to give you a tip. Right at number 3, canva.com, Canva.com. Canva, like you're doing a picture. This is such an easy website to design a flyer that they have already beautiful templates on yoga. You put yoga, and then just put the teacher's name, the yoga teacher's name, put the mission, which I could tell you, maybe coming together to heal through yoga and meditation. However, through my experience, as we know, the word yoga sometimes has a spiritual, religious connotation. And if we're dealing with people from different religions, and now in our schools, they're very mixed, especially in North America and Europe, there's very mixed children. So we can't use that word. I don't suggest you saying yoga or meditation. The best word to use is, who's got it? Mindfulness. We want to teach mindfulness. So put that on your flyer, put that on your email. This is what I really want to suggest to the parents. If you're a parent, write the school director, make your own flyer, write your own email. If you need help, please write me. I will freely do it for you. We're in this together, and you need community-wide support and effort at this time. and we're all there for each other. Contact, and then I'll write it for you. I'll do the flyer, I'll write the email. So write these emails to school boards, write the emails to your teachers. Which teachers? You know, we have those students' favorite teachers, perhaps the gym teacher, or maybe that teacher that's maybe a bit more open-minded. Even the math or science teacher understands the stress of what's going on right now on the children and themselves. If you look at the studies right now, teachers are going through burnout, as we can all imagine. Teachers are burning out. Teachers want to quit their jobs during COVID. They're being forced to take the vaccine in some countries, beyond perhaps their personal doing. So there's a lot of pressure, right? They can't even hug their students anymore. So there's sadness, there's anger, there's confusion and fear. And to release all this the answer is what we're talking about here, which is amazing. And it's yoga, it's meditation, it's deep breathing, it's coming together. You know, just to tell you, when I wrote this book, Preventing Bullying, took me 8 years to do research on how do we prevent bullying and discrimination and racism going on in the world right now. That's a huge chunk to eat on. But after all my research, you know, and I wrote all these activities that teachers could do in the classroom, building relationships, teach empathy. Okay, all that is great. But at the foundation, if we're stepping in mud, if we're not happy with ourselves, if the bully is unhappy and suffering, his suffering will overflow onto others and he'll be hurting others. So the solution to bullying, the solution to racism, the solution to the stress, again, I'm going to point it back to yoga and meditation or mindfulness, right? So this is the mindful breathing, the mindful stance. So if you guys want to stand up with me, because I've been sitting all day working today, if you want to stand up with me and stretch, sometimes we think in a classroom, but a classroom, we have enough room. Now we're social distancing. You know, Asibanki told you to bring your yoga mats, but it's not really a good idea because in a classroom, you could just do stretching. So let's stand up if you're sitting all day, because you might have another hour here, and we could just put your hands on your hips, open your feet, with hips width apart, look that your toes are in a nice straight line, tuck in your tailbone, and you could just tell the students, we all need it for our back, but just do a hula hoop. Rotation, gentle, and exhale as you go down. You could let the head, let's do 3 to make it a little bit quick. Inhale, as you're going up, exhale, as you're going down. Come on, stand up. I know you're jealous of my back being stretched. You need to stretch yours as well. So go quickly the other side. As we know, we're just doing everything slowly, but I have 15 minutes, so I'm just doing a summary here. You can again have the students rotate their wrists. If they're typing all day, they're on their phones all day, they can get, arthritis or carpal tunnel syndrome. So you really want to help them do self-massage, breathe in. So these are all simple exercises. As well, we could do, the V pose or the tree pose, standing, still in front of their desk, using their chair or their desk as a balance. Even you could take the leg, stretch it up, curving the back, lowering the head. You can take your hand and put it on your heart. Breathing in, focusing your gaze on a spot in the wall, eye level. Students today, you could do the other leg while I'm talking. Students today I was teaching classes, sometimes had a group of 30 who maybe 8 out of the 30 had attention deficit disorder. They cannot concentrate, and you have to teach them a lesson. It's very difficult, but these kind of exercises where you're helping the student focus on their gaze, relax the eyes, relax the mouth, focus on their breath, not look everywhere, because then their balance will go everywhere as well. To focus their gaze, and so on. You can put your feet back down, and you can put your hands on your hips, open up, or up in the air. And just these 2 poses, this one especially, increases testosterone in your body by 20 or 30%. So students who have low self-esteem these days, or even adults, just keeping this up, like the V pose, the victory pose, for 2 minutes, though we have to hold it for 2 minutes, will help, improve our well-being. And then you could just tell the students to do motions with their circle. You could just do some rotations backwards. dropping your head, and slowly inhale, lifting it. So these kind of exercises we could do as well. Another one is, everyone's really tense these days. The kids are tense too. So to allow them to explore that, especially teenagers that have a lot of, hormonal imbalances at this time. They have a lot of energy. So tell them to push their hands down, touching the floor, and make all their muscles and body tight, stretching to the floor. And then relaxing completely, curving the fingers, relaxing the face, and then putting a gentle smile on your face. And then we need to add in the positive affirmations, of course, right, for these students, because we could just do this, but we're miserable. And I had this, students be miserable, they don't want to participate. So I wanted to mention this too. As teachers, once you're doing this with the students, you could just continue and stretch while you're there. With your students, have a discussion before doing yoga. Have a discussion about the stresses of COVID. Even before COVID, these kids were stressed, right? So now that it's amplified when you think in comparison to our youth, and so I think we really have to empathize with what they're going through. So add in the reason for doing mindfulness, show them studies of the effectiveness. And a lot of boys don't want to do yoga. They think, oh no, this is just for girls. No, show them top athletes or sports, men in sports that usually, do yoga and to calm down before a big game. Students need this before their big exams. As you know, in India, some of the students their whole grade 12 or grade 11 is being, put to the side because of COVID. So there's a lot of stress that they're under. So to encourage the teachers to have these positive affirmations while they're doing yoga. What else do I want to tell you about? Yeah, and to bring props to school, even online, bring different props, maybe different like lavender spray or these, Tibetan bowls, just to intrigue them and to, change their mind. Let them know that this too shall pass, that they have to hear that, the adults are working on this problem. The best doctors and scientists are working, around the clock for us. So don't worry, it's going to be okay. And going back to the schools, if you don't find a yoga teacher to do it in school, after, contacting the gym teacher, your favorite teacher, the directors, the school boards, you still might get a no for teaching mindfulness. You could show them studies around the world. A lot of schools are doing it to show the impact of, violence. Like even everyone knows Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey interviewed the most non-violent school in the world, in North America, and they were practicing meditation 2 times a day. So if you need to know any studies of non-violent schools, what they're doing, it's because they are having this kind of practice in there. And lastly, I learned also from Raju and Manoji about creating support groups for teens, because we need to have a sense of community for these children, that they don't feel alone. So perhaps even doing yoga with, cousins or a group of friends online or in person once things loosen up. And to do, wow moments, to write about our wow moments of the day, our gratitude moments of the day. And if they're using social media, to use that together, write about their days of gratitude. Because there's no other way to change our minds. They don't really want to listen to mom and dad. So to have their peer group get involved with them is very, very helpful once they see their peers involved. So speaking of that, on that note, for teachers to identify the alpha male or alpha female of the classroom, someone who's kind of in charge, and ask them personally, would you mind helping me teach this class? So if the whole group sees that the alpha male and female are involved, they too will be engaged. It's hard once you don't have a team. They'll be like, that's not cool, that's not great. Everything is strange in the beginning, especially for them. And they hear their parents say, yoga is, again, people thought like holding the mudra. I've had students say, I'm not allowed to hold a mudra because against my religion. And for me, it was heartbreaking. I'm thinking, this is magical. So you have to get the alpha male or female on your side if you're about to teach a class of youth. And depending on the age of the children, you have to shorten the meditation time, the engagement time, because their attention span is quite different. It increases as we age as well. So on that note, I wanted to end with Dalai Lama's quote: if every 8-year-old in the world is taught meditation, we will eliminate violence from the world within 1 generation. But that's a great idea, but we have to do that together. We have to, call those people that we mentioned. We have to think about the future generation, that they are suffering in class. I'm telling you, I have kids coming from war-stricken countries, poverty, who've been raped, who've been bullied, and they're in class trying to listen to a teacher. It's impossible. But yoga and meditation, or mindfulness, is the key here. It's a wonderful gift. And so I thank you, and I hope we could spread the word, love, and so on. Namaste. I love you. Have a wonderful weekend.